Canadian scientists are warning that historic research records and publications are being lost forever. The Harper government is closing most of the country's fishery, ocean, and environmental libraries. Fisheries and Oceans says it is consolidating the material and digitizing the entire collection. But as Margot McDermott tells us, people who use the collection and even a former Conservative cabinet minister fear it's just not true.
Kelly Whalen Enns believes he saved these scientific documents and books from the garbage.
Regional land use plans, Beaufort Sea.
Whalen Enns went into Winnipeg's Fisheries and Oceans Library just before Christmas and found everything from climate atlases to polar research just sitting in piles.
It was really hard to figure out where to start because there's so much that you just looked at and went, oh my God, they've just left this lying here?
The Winnipeg Library is one of 7 across the country being closed by Fisheries and Oceans. The collections include centuries of research and books on everything from fish to fresh water. Some, like these documents from the library in Montjoly, Quebec, have already ended up in a dumpster. All contain valuable regional baseline data, crucial for future research. Marine biologist Jeff Hutchings worries about losing access to it.
What it ultimately will lead to is a reduction in the ability of DFO to undertake science. There's no other way to think about this.
The department says most researchers don't use the libraries, and closing them will save more than $400,000. It says valuable collections have been safely stored and will eventually be digitized. Fisheries Minister Gail Shea denies reports that some books were burned, saying in a statement they were given away to the DFO staff on site at the library, then offered to the general public, and finally were recycled in a green fashion if there were no takers. It's absolutely false that any books were burnt. But a former Conservative fisheries minister calls the decision Orwellian.
I call it Orwellian because it could be, some might suspect, that it's driven by a notion to exterminate all unpopular scientific findings that interfere with the government's economic objective.
The government denies that, but it's still not clear what will happen to the collection of more than 600,000 pieces of scientific research. Right now, only 30,000 have been put online. Scientists worry the rest will stay hidden in vaults, away from anyone who might want to access them. Margot McDermott, CBC News, Ottawa.